Welcome, Atlanta United family, to another weekly episode of Resurge Spike ATL. Here with our guest. Tommy's here once again, so it seems like he's our guest for this week more than Tyler.
Let's go. I'm back.
Not committed.
You can follow him at Let's Go Ducks 96 on Twitter. Also, we have James. Let's Go Ducks. No, not Let's Go Ducks.
What?
Your title
He's
miss
he's Let's
26.
Go Ducks 97.
Yeah. Yeah, you can check them out. Also, ATL Mirrorball, you can check them out as well. They got good articles.
Somewhat.
And Tyler Pilgrim, he's here with us once again from Dirty South Soccer. You can follow him as well, ATL Pilgrim. Breaking news, guys, like real huge news that many of us were expecting. Is just we probably didn't expect it this soon, or just didn't picture it the way that it happened, with the Joseph Martinez news coming out today that he was not in the plans for Atlanta United in 2023. Opinions, thoughts, rants.
Swing low. Yeah. It was gonna happen. This was gonna happen before Chicken and Rice. The the coaching staff and the front office obviously don't believe in him. Don't believe in what he can produce. Probably just health has got to be part of it. I mean, had a surgery a couple years ago in 2020. Had to get more surgeries because there was still some issues. Came back, was playing an almost entire 2021 hurt, and then had to have we're still recovering. Gave everything he could. Preseason, he feels something, gets a surgery a few weeks into the regular season, comes back and he's okay, but he doesn't look the same. Just doesn't look it. Off the ball, he wasn't making many runs, struggling, and then it just went downhill across the board. He was on the bench, started making some comments about not being happy about it. Then Chicken and Rice happens, and then there's some more straightforward comments, and he's gone. I think that sums up the last 2 years of Joseph Martinez. Unfortunately, is just injuries just ruined some players' careers, and this is definitely one of them.
I think he's going to come back strong somewhere, even if it's just out of spite. But I think the way I look at it is like this: you can be an Atlanta fan, and obviously you're going to feel, upset, bothered, sad, whatever. Insert emotion here. Like, that's fine. It would have been nice to have Joseph just go the whole run and stay here and retire here and continue to do what he was doing. But yeah, that injury definitely hampered a lot of things. All the changes hampered things, I would argue, maybe even more than the injury did. But I think you also kind of have to look at the light at the end of the tunnel, and there's something to be excited about. Like, if we're being honest, this team was never, in the way that it is right now, this team was never going to evolve with Joseph still here. And it kind of feels like you kind of have to rip the tooth out and just go forward. And maybe this is what helps establish that identity. They've been talking about they have an identity, but any fan that's watching would say, I don't really see it. Maybe this is that last little bit that needed to happen because everybody's wanting 2018 back. That's not going to happen. There has to be some kind of evolution. Hopefully it's not Boca Negra's version of evolution that turned into a crap show, but it's still worth being excited about the future because you can't change it now anyway. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great day. It's the first steps of a movement, a great movement of our championship next year. But going off first, yeah, I mean, now this is just all a piece of history. It's over and it's great. But why am I even wearing it? That's the real issue we are talking about today.
Oh my God.
I hate this kid
No,
so much.
cool, bro.
I hate him so much.
Why did we pick that kid over Heinze, by the way? Dumbest decision in history. Should have dropped Joseph. 2021 summer gone into the mud. We're zooming now, and look, it aged horribly, but we're back next year. Cubo Torres up front, get him in, starting striker.
8:45 bedtime, James. You got a couple minutes left. Got anything else you want to get out?
All right.
To buy you a Happy Meal.
I'm not. Oh my goodness.
When you come with those hot takes, we're gonna come back at you.
Oh yeah. These aren't hot takes.
Get that jersey off. It looks like you got some girls
I will
there.
honestly, man. If anything, I would rather see Sylph come in here with his Eric Lopez shirt more than anything with that Kubo Torres that you have on.
Yeah, really. I mean, yeah. Oh no. This is great. I love this. Everyone's outraged for no reason. It happens like 10 times a year. It's fantastic. It's a great time to be on Twitter. It's a great time to be here because when you don't have a favorable opinion, it's just a lovely time. And it's time to go. Greatest player of all time, great. Build a little statue. But it's time to move on and it's time to win games now.
I do that all the time too, Chris.
You got fans,
James.
That's
James,
crazy.
when did you change your opinion? Because I thought throughout most of the season you were pro Joseph. So
I was banking on him
he didn't perform all season, and now all of a sudden you've changed your stance.
No,
so
this was
when did this change?
When I was pro Joseph, right? That was like August, right? Or that was probably after the Inter Miami game, if we're being honest. But dude, I mean, he doesn't perform, and then he has his freaking outrage. It's ridiculous. I mean, if you're gonna do that, at least score like Ronaldo did today. But like,
oh god.
Yeah.
I mean, he's basically in the same situation that Joseph's in. I mean, sort of. I mean, he's just underperforming, and then
he's not Ronaldo, man. It's just,
bro, he's the Ronaldo of MLS.
No,
that's a fact.
Now,
or Messi or whatever you want to call it. Literally, I mean, Joseph is arguably top 2, 3 strikers in MLS history. I mean, if we actually want to be unbiased and put other guys into the conversation,
but he only did it he was only elite for 3 years. 3.
Exactly, and then a stupid injury came, then yet again the guy was the fastest to hit 100 goals. True. I mean, in MLS.
True. That's great. Now give me freaking the guy from Flamengo, bro. Get him in here. He'll score more. Just give me somebody. Like
who's it gonna be? I mean,
is it like a high-profile player or like a young prospect coming up for you guys? Somebody proven or somebody that's upcoming.
It better be somebody proven. I'm kind of sick and tired of the, hey man, bringing in an 18-and-a-half-year-old that's going to score 1 million goals. Like, I'm done with that. Just bring me somebody who's going to fit in well with this club and the identity that they're trying to build. Freaking make it work. Just make it work.
With the history of scoring.
Yeah,
Not that I looked at Zilf's list and like the first guy on the list was like, he has scored 1 goal or something like that. And I was like, nope, go to the next one. Go to the next one. Because I am so sick of reading about these kids that have all this potential, but they've never scored a goal in their entire lives. Like, I know Joseph wasn't like lighting the world on fire when he came in here, but
Joseph was also playing as a winger before.
Yeah.
People forget that. Like, he wasn't playing as a number 9.
I mean, yeah, I'm looking for one of those like mid-20s kind of guys. I get what you mean, but unless it's like freaking Julian Alvarez, it's like, nah, like a guy like that. Which there isn't right now.
Dude, it's got to be Chicho.
Yeah, you will. I mean, I think for, everybody will feel a little bit more safer, I guess, whenever something, if somebody gets announced that it's somebody with an MLS, they're a proven guy. But I mean, I really haven't seen the list of any guys that are going to be out of contract when it comes to the 9 position this year. So, but I mean, yeah, there's been rumors about LAFC wanting to trade on Chicho, and I mean, there's definitely money for Atlanta United to go out and get somebody from abroad as well.
Yeah. I wish we can get a guy like Benteke, or Cucho kind of guy. But Joshua Simons. Yeah, that kid's cracked. Honestly, I'm better. Give me a 2% touch rate. I will still bang in goals. It's amazing.
Well,
I mean,
this
we talked about this a little bit, that and Sam Jones tweeted it about the percentage of touches that our strikers have got this season.
2%.
I mean, what's Joseph like? Dude, Joseph's role was to just like run around in the box and just like get a pass or something, as well as Cisneros. I mean, these guys aren't gonna get touches unless
Joseph couldn't run.
Fine.
Joseph didn't run.
But that's the problem. That's the problem with the formation and the style right now. Like, why do you
ruined it?
Number 9 if he's barely going to see the ball? Like, for that, play a false 9 and we'll do something different. Like, but if you're going to try to have like a traditional number 9, you got to figure out a way to get him the ball. Like, it's that simple.
But I mean, but still, when you have like two guys that are just low key just ass, it's not gonna help. And if you get someone new, yet again, we can freaking change how we play. And I think if we get a big time 9, a guy who's gonna freaking come in and do something, I feel like it'll benefit guys like Araujo, who, it would be a lot nicer to have more than one guy try to move the ball up the field while the other guys are doing nothing, especially the striker.
Yeah, and essentially, like, now that you're hitting that point, it's you also want to bring in a guy that has that competitive, that next gear, like Joseph brought out, and a lot of the guys that he played along with, and that's something that a lot of fans, and everybody, in the league knows that Joseph, kind of brings out the better of, or brought out the better in some players around him. And essentially that's what you want with the player that you're going to bring in. You want him to have the winner mentality. I mean, do whatever it takes to win, whether it's playing pretty or just playing long ball, whatever it is, man.
Yeah, just kick the ball in the freaking net, honestly. It's another point. I mean, we played good this year. We were putting up freaking 20 shots a game, like 10 on target, and we just freaking couldn't score. It sucks.
I mean, the midfield still needs to be cleaned up. I think that's going to be the other piece of this. Rossetto and Moreno obviously are I mean, Rossetto at that point, I mean, we know he's not it. Yeah. And then with Moreno, I don't believe anything that they said at the end of the year, things about Moreno just not fitting the team. There was too many opportunities. I'm not even going to get into all again, but there was too many opportunities where they were either down a goal or tied at the end of the season where they needed a win, and they were bringing in Ibarra over him. Like that doesn't make sense to me. You have to, at that point where they were in the season, ties weren't enough to make the playoffs. You needed wins, and they didn't go for wins. And if that's me, you're putting Moreno in to at least cause a spark. So don't tell me that all of a sudden your guy that was probably co-MVP the season before with Barco, all of a sudden has become trash and you can't put him in. So I don't believe that for a reason. And just the same thing with Joseph. If the coaching staff doesn't believe in Joseph Martinez, that's fine. Move on with him. If the coaching staff doesn't believe in Moreno, it's time to move on from him as well. And that's just where we're at right now. And he got did he start that last game of the year? Well, the last game of the year didn't even matter. I don't
know.
He
came on.
Start the game. He started the game before that, though, I think, right? Or did he make a sub? The one on the road against.
Talking about New England.
New England, yeah. I think he either started or he was a sub.
He was subbed in, yeah, because he never started. Yeah, he never started after like half of the season.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like that last games. I remember when he came on in the last match, I was like, this is a Moreno game. Like it's the chaos. He can maybe do something. And he went out there and he actually had he did some different crap. Like he changed up the game a little bit. I mean, yeah, it is what it is. The result was the result, but it is, I agree. Like it's really weird when you've got matches where you need, because like in the beginning of the season, it seemed like it didn't matter what it was. Pineda was going for a win. And I applaud him for that. But then when you get to the end of the season and you absolutely have to have wins, you can't settle for draws, and you're putting in, a 21-year-old who doesn't move off the ball over like a guy that scored 9 goals and had I don't even know how many 11 assists last year. Like I don't. It's just wild to me.
Yeah. I mean, this goes back to my theory. Like, dude, Boca is fighting for his life this year. He's gonna do everything possible to try and get guys to help fix this, and that starts with him working with Pineda. But, yeah, we're just ass. Let's stop talking about last year. I was thinking you guys were talking about the New York game. I was like, did we even score that game? I don't even remember that. Was that the Andrew Gutman like diving header? Was it that?
Yeah.
Game?
Superman.
That was like a year ago. I'm not gonna lie. That's what it feels like. But
yeah, these shitty years of just it makes summer go so long. Like the COVID year, it was like, all right, it's COVID year, whatever. Like, is the season even real? And then
I don't
you
count
go
that
on
as
to the
a.
next
I don't
year.
count that as a season.
bro, I barely watched that season. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
that was rough.
That
It was
MLS's
rough
back
without the
tournament
fake-
at 9 a.m.
the fake
was
noise.
miserable.
I watched that
the fake
tournament.
crowd noise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that was
used
in
my only
Orlando.
vacation day that year to stay home and watch that game. That was like at 9 a.m. I think it was like, I forget who it was against. It might have been Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, bro.
Cincinnati.
Yes.
It was like the first time I had people over, like during COVID. We all like made a bunch of breakfast. I was wasted on that game.
Those
It
were
was
dark
so
times.
bad.
Dark times, buddy.
Shouldn't have fired DeBoer.
It was
That's
a
my-
bad time.
0 goals. Yeah, honestly, sir. Has there honestly been any details on why exactly Frank DeBoer was fired?
Have
Or
we fired any coach for like a good reason? We haven't. That's
They
well,
decided to
Tata
move
Martino.
plays, so
I think Tata Martino. I mean, he got
he left,
approached by
yeah.
Mexico. I
yeah,
mean,
that's cool. But like the
but-
other two guys is just
yeah. I mean,
Well, I
Heinze
think
was.
Frank would have been out if Joseph didn't go on that goal streak at the end of
That's
the year,
true.
like to
You're
get
not
us
wrong.
into the playoffs. That team was ass. Joseph saved his job, and there was a couple accidents because of injuries that all of a sudden they had to change how they played, and it ended up working. But then you get to the MLS back tournament, the vibe was so low, obviously because it's COVID and everything like that. But then that was the moment where like Boca was like started and like, oh, what's he doing down on the bench? Why is he talking to Jeff like that? And then like, was like 2 weeks later or maybe like a week later, you're like you get the text alert that Frank DeBoer's been fired. You're like, oh man, what the hell's going on here? But I think it was, I did like the one thing I would say about Frank is that I'll compare it to Mighty Ducks 3, the movie, where like you were teaching a team that knew all about offense and was teaching them how to play defense. And that was something that I thought that, it did help the team overall, I think. And it helped Miles a lot. Like Miles really became Miles under Frank. Like that was probably some of his best times was playing under Frank. But, whatever. And then the Heinze thing, I don't even think we should even talk about that because that was just, that who knows what to believe at that point. There's so many conspiracy theories.
Heinze had
QAnon, if you have QAnon, you don't know what's going on.
Like the potential was there. I'll sit there and say, now he's going to Newell's Old Boys, so which is cool. I still think Heinze would have been a great coach, but he clearly wasn't prepared for MLS. Like,
yeah, that's what the problem was. I don't think he was a good fit here.
Yeah, I understand what he's trying to do, but like, clearly you've never been in Georgia in the middle of summer. Like, you can't freaking be telling people not to have water. Like, this is stupid.
99 passion, bro. I need Pineda to start like running into the celebrations like on the field. Just go for it.
Yeah, dude. The day that Heinze refused to shake Jim Curtin's hand was like that was one of the best days of my life, man. That was the coolest thing I've ever seen. I was like, this is great.
We need
passion.
Fuck that ginger head.
Go buy some more shoes.
Then it all went downhill from there. But
yeah, no.
And the other problem I think Boca's. Well, sorry, the Boca thing. Like another problem. Obviously, hiring these coaches that aren't working out. That's on the front office as well. But then you've got this mash of all these different coaches and the players they want. Like, and you signed them to long contracts too. You signed some of these guys for very long contracts, and it's just you got them. We're slowly, getting rid of all the Frank DeBoer guys, but you had Frank DeBoer guys, you had Heinze guys. Now you've got Pineda guys, It's just a huge grouping of guys that aren't what we need. And you've got to get rid of these contracts. And that's why I was just so anti-Pineda out. At this point, this season, you got to give him a full year. And we did. And they're going to hold on to him. And it wouldn't have made sense to make a coach. Do you really want Boca to get another coach at this point? No, you don't want that. You need to
make a new coach. Nobody.
No, I mean, the only one that needs to make that call is the new president. And that's if it's needed.
This is
I think we'll find out.
I feel like the president thing's overhyped, but that's just my opinion.
It depends on what the president does.
Yes, we don't know the real role yet, and I think it's dramatized of what.
Because if he comes in and he kind of takes the reins and does more of the technical director stuff,
that's what I doubt though. Because
I mean, I kind of do too. But if they bring in a guy like we were talking about,
Lagerway,
if it's Lagerway, he knows the game, so I wouldn't be mad at that.
I'm more inclined to think that this club will get another Darren Eales kind of guy, and that's outside kind of more not roster stuff. But yeah, I mean, going back to Boca, I mean, he's doing a pretty decent job of trying to get rid of all the freaking mistakes he's made, but there's still a lot of work to do coming with that issue. But I feel like since Boca should have been fired to now, he's done a pretty good job. But he was given a stupid second chance. But since the part where he should have just been freaking out of here, it's not great.
Better swing for the fences with his new TP.
Exactly. I mean,
got to hit.
Fighting for his life, so he's gonna do something good.
Dude, two DPs.
Yeah, that's the thing. But in terms of the replacement for Joseph, dude, I'm calling I'm not his biggest fan, but dude, bring Ronaldo and figure out a way to keep him from getting slapped in handcuffs the moment he lands here. You better swing for the fences, man.
I mean, no, seriously though. Not Ronaldo.
Just click end now. Let's just end this.
No more controversial sentences, please.
No more Ronaldo.
Oh. Yeah, what about R29 though?
I mean, that's what I was exactly about to bring him. I'm we have the best Ronaldo in the world technically here already.
I would take R29 on $300K a year. I would take him on that. But that is an international slot though.
Yeah.
But he's versatile. He's definitely
he just can't.
What is going on?
He's not a good wing
everybody
player.
Changed all their stances in a span of 3 weeks.
I'm saying he's versatile off the bench.
What is going on?
I'm being
Everybody
realistic.
hated him. What is going on?
I'm saying he's versatile.
Pull the tape. Get out of here. Ronaldo sucks. Joseph should be starting. Now you're I love Ronaldo. Joseph, I'm glad he's out. What is going on?
I didn't call him a starter.
Are we in the upside down?
What did I said about Joseph? If he goes off, then I'm absolutely glad to have him back. And he scored 2 goals the rest of the season.
What is going on? What is going on now?
Dude, you see the problem with you? You are just too consistent. It's boring. You gotta change it up. You gotta be interesting.
Oh, no.
So what? I don't even know, man. You just kind of lost me there, James. Honestly, I don't even know where the hell to pick up from now.
I'm just saying it would be worth having him a freaking Ronald Hernandez contract and have him on the bench. I did not say he should start. You see, you're just good show business. It's good stuff, man.
No, I get what you're saying though. I mean, he's a good backup, definitely. Yeah, I mean, well, then you still have Dom Dwyer as well with another year in his contract as well.
Vibes player, whatever.
And Conway,
who actually should be getting minutes, in my opinion.
Should have gotten.
I mean, you have to make the decision this year if you're going to have him in the future.
Yep.
Which goes back to even more Chol, who should be out of here because he was given that time and he's not done.
Well,
great.
so was Conway too, though. I mean, you look back at early 2021.
That's true.
Yeah, Conway's gotten a lot of minutes.
Conway's still young. Is he still young or 20? He's
still give up on him.
21, right?
He's 20.
Yeah, Conway's got time. I don't know how old Machop Chol is.
I think he's 23. Yeah, he's 23. He's about to be 24. That's,
Well, yeah, neither of these guys. I mean, also guys like Tyler Wolf. I mean, eventually he got loaned out, and you would think that he would. I don't. I really didn't keep up with the time that he got loaned out or was
He's
got
not
loaned
getting any
out.
minutes, unfortunately.
No,
You
that's
see,
not.
and that's what I was getting to. I mean, if they get loaned out, or even sadly, I mean, you look at Butler's situation. I mean, he went to a Bundesliga team where they were fighting relegation, and he rather have that option than play for another team that had more stability, where he was going to be playing pretty competitive soccer, in Champions League. I think it was Turkey, right? Or where was it that he was?
Club Brugge.
Yeah.
Did they win
Yeah.
their group, by the way, in the Champions
I
League?
think so.
Oh, they lost.
Yeah,
They lost
yeah,
4-0.
because they
actually.
lost this last game, but I know they were like undefeated,
But
hadn't
I
like
think it was.
allowed any
I might
goals.
be wrong. It might have been one of those where they could have lost and it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, they won. That's crazy. In freaking
Yeah.
Madrid.
But see, that's the thing about where Bello went too. They're about to get relegated again.
Yes, that is true. They are in second last.
Yeah,
God.
Not great. Poor guy.
yeah.
Go back to MLS. It's not working out. But hey,
Josh got me dead with this one. Who's beating us if Rossetto is in his Birmingham Legion form? And Chol is
God, I
in
still
his
remember that
preseason
game too, man.
didn't Chol start in the Orlando match? Like,
That was like the debut of what was
The
it?
first game of the
gold,
season.
the
Yes.
Kings
Yeah.
kit that we had for the
oh my gosh, Birmingham Legion is crazy.
I'm like, we're about to be prime Real Madrid.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is gonna be great, and then
Hey,
it went downhill.
We're gonna do the same thing after the first game next season. So prepare
Yeah,
yourself.
dude, that's what we said about Kansas. I was there that first game. I'm like, I actually didn't get to meet Tommy that one time because I was freaking late to the game. I like pulled up literally when Araujo was scoring the goal, and I'm like walking up the stairs, and like my little girl starts cheering, and I'm like, oh shit, they scored, and I'm like, I thought they were just cheering because
That
like
was so
somebody
cool.
like got fouled or something, and I'm like, oh shit.
We should do a
But-
live podcast.
I was hanging out with Tyler for 30 seconds today before that game.
Yeah.
30 seconds.
Yep.
It was
We should do-
someone took a picture of us and then she disappeared with the picture, and we never got to see the picture.
Yeah, and pretty much never heard from her again.
Yeah, she disappeared.
Yeah, we should do a live.
She had Joseph's phone number. She was texting Joseph at when I was at the Cincinnati game with her. It was really weird.
We should do a live podcast.
You talking about the one that started doing the thing with y'all, the spaces with y'all?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
like
off
that,
the map.
that 10 minutes she was on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I
I
remember
remember.
actually that game. I remember I was listening to you guys. I was at the Waffle House there downtown, like freaking wasted. And
I was
I'm like
right down the
listening during the
street. I
thing.
could have met you there.
Dude, I told you. I actually
Wow.
texted you, but you were like, "Dude, I'm wasted." I'm like, "I feel you, bro. I'm wasted too."
At this point,
My
we should
bad.
do a live podcast at the first game next year.
Yeah, man. I mean,
My goal every year
Hey,
is
I'm
to
here
go to
for
the opening game every year. That's my goal because it's
That's
shitty
good
here
stuff.
in Cleveland at that time. So
Yeah, that's
I almost want us to lose the first match so that we can just have a 2018
No.
run again.
no,
I remember that Houston game.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like, don't get my hopes up.
No,
Like,
get my
yeah.
hopes up. That's what I live
No.
for. That's
This
what I live
one,
for.
like after that match, the first match of this past season, I was like, this is great. Like, if they can play ball like this, we're gonna be fine.
Oh,
yeah,
we should-
but we were playing
MVP.
against Kansas City this year, in the home opener, and I mean, yet again, we still didn't
they were
have
supposed to be decent.
Our
Yeah.
show MVP. So close. And,
We have some Pineda guys out. Oh, this is
oh no.
this is John,
Oh, that's John.
our Milan boy.
Oh yeah.
Pineda out. I mean, man, who knows, man? Even with Boca Negra, I mean, if the new president comes in and this guy is, just about his way and just doesn't want to have to deal with anything or knows what's going on, basically, I think that everybody's job is somewhat on the line at the moment. I don't think that they're.
Yeah, everybody is. The summer is huge. Like the summer, I think is like an evaluation point right before they shut down for the tournament, right? Like I think that's like the perfect point where you make decisions on everybody's job. Because at that point, you've got a good, hopefully, 6 months of working with Pineda, working with Boca, and then making that decision of whether you want to move on. Realistically, I don't think they would move Boca until the end of the season anyway.
Yeah.
But Pineda, I mean, that's a whole other story in general. But I mean, if it's bad, then I think that they make that decision sooner than later. But I don't think it's going to be that terrible.
I did like what Arthur was saying when he was mentioning that they're definitely taking a look at like some of the back office folks, because we've talked about it like on our show where you've got, you know, one analytics guy, one guy from Georgia Tech. And again, this is not a knock on him because I know that job is freaking hard, but like one guy physically cannot do that job. And they're talking about bringing in more analytics folks, more back office folks. So those are the guys that are going to need to be here to make a successful club. You can't have your one analytics guy look at leagues all over the world for transfer targets and other stuff. Like, it's just not going to happen. So I really hope we start seeing those hires like ASAP, because they've got to build that whole section back up.
Yeah, I agree. Felipe made a good comment on the Five Straight Final podcast. He said this team is still acting like a startup. And I thought that was an interesting comment because you have all the resources in the world. And if you just look across football, hockey, baseball, the teams that usually win are ones that have deep sports analytics departments, deep scouting departments. And you've seen the team slowly, as you've gone through the years, who have stayed behind on the analytics have started to fail. If they were a good franchise prior and they didn't move forward to the future, they just failed. And this team has more than enough money. Hiring analytics guys does not go against your salary cap. So what are you doing? Why aren't you hiring? The Falcons have a very large coaching and analytics staff. Why are you half-assing it with this team? So maybe they just got away with it for a while, but I think that they're learning that you're going to have to start throwing some money. And I hope that whoever the president that does come in is up on all of that, on analytics, on scouting. And honestly, I think we've learned that they keep making these hires of people that don't know MLS. And that has become a major issue. Frank DeBoer said he never watched MLS, right? Heinze didn't understand the rules of MLS and the salary cap, which we all don't either. So I'm not going to talk too much trash, but like, we don't understand it. But I mean, he was very vocal and complaining, like, I can't get these guys because apparently there's a salary cap. I get it, dude. But if I'm taking a job, I'm going to learn what those salary cap rules are and make sure that I understand it. And that's just two guys that straight did not know what MLS is. And it hurt us. So, I mean, they've got to find someone that is either interested in figuring out what MLS is or have a guy that got some experience with it.
True. And I mean, yeah, and then we finally hire an MLS guy and everyone wants him gone. So
I mean, they sent their head scout to Mallorca to watch Matthew Hoppe, and he didn't even play. That's the kind of stuff that's like, I get it. You know, you can't dictate when a sub is going to play, but like, there has to be better ways. Like, you have video to watch, and it's just a lot of backward stuff. And I really hope that Arthur does follow through on it, because I mean, you can't. There's no excuse really, because the amount of money that Atlanta United can throw around, I get it, and I've said it before, but like the roster rules in MLS, you can't throw money at certain players, DP, all that kind of whatever. I get that, but you can absolutely throw as much money as you want to at these analytics guys. You know, your athletic, like your trainers, that stuff you can put money into and make it happen. You should be paying these people plenty more than they're worth. I mean, I don't know. It's just frustrating because the fact that like we had them, and of course you're successful, so everybody wants them. You get rid of everybody, just like you got rid of the whole freaking team in 2019, and then you didn't build it back up, and it makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing, you know, with even having DP guys like Joseph gone and probably Armada the latest, probably summertime. And having such a short time is you feel like some decision. I feel like maybe they're gonna be somewhat rushed. If for say, I mean, I don't know when the new president is gonna be announced. Supposedly, it's supposed to be by the end of this year, most likely after the World Cup, I would think. Um, but y- there's so many decisions, especially like right now, that if they're being rushed, I think that we're probably not going to be in a good spot by summertime. And that's depending if, we bring in new guys and they just don't fit, or if we keep the same roster and it just continues to be, you know, a roster that just plays nothing, basically. Dude, what the hell do you have on?
Come on, let's be mature here.
What kind of hoodie are you wearing?
Is that an ugly Christmas sweater?
It's my llama Christmas blazer.
Dude, it's October.
I'm drinking Christmas ale, so I figured I'd get into the mood.
I don't even know what we're talking about. I just want, we need more vibes players, honestly. We got vibes manager. I don't care about. I don't even know anything about these analytics. I just want to freaking watch a good team. I don't.
MLS spending. This comment, it doesn't bug me at all because really everybody has the same salary cap. You could just throw as much money as you want on 3 players. Like everybody could go spend to the max. It's just how much you spend on your 3 main guys, and that's why this Joseph thing is just all more important that you move on from him. Because do you really want to have another year just wondering if his knee's going to hold up? It's just not a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be spending that much money on a DP, especially one that's only playing like 30% of the time.
And even
for
if
3 years,
if you restructure that contract too, that's just gonna end bitter. I mean, if you're not gonna start him and you restructure that, like, that's not.
Is that groaning or something? Like, I don't know why there's that comment.
Because you disappeared for like 3 minutes.
Yeah, come on, let's
like an emergency.
That takes quicker than 3 minutes for that.
Yeah,
you don't show up for
longer than 3 minutes. Yeah.
So, guys, getting into the next subject, there was a new idea for the MLS playoffs, essentially, in the near future, which there, I honestly saw somewhat of the details. It's basically going to be another format, like after you play the regular season and what you play for 3 points, if you win, and if you draw, like any regular league would do. You lose, obviously you don't get no points. And what is it, the one that has the most points at the end wins, or something like that? What honestly, I didn't get too much into the details. So
now it is, you basically play another like a World Cup style tournament. So you're going to make it to the playoffs based on your results in the regular season, and then you're going to get stuck in a group with somebody, play out of the group, and then play through all the way up to the final.
That's just odd. It feels like that's like regular season, postseason matches. Like, who's gonna, like, if you're looking for entertainment in the league, who's gonna watch a freaking group stage match of the playoffs? It's just
no. Not to mention the amount of, I mean, we talked about it last night, Tommy. Like you're already adding the Leagues Cup, which is going to knock a month of the entire season back.
Oh boy!
And now you're trying to add, because it's roughly 30 postseason matches. Now, not every team, but all together, you're going from right now 13 postseason matches to 30. Like, there's not enough time in the year to fit this in. So it just seems like something that could have been held off for another couple of years so I could kind of see how the Leagues Cup thing worked out. It seems very rushed, and I'm not really a big fan of it. I kind of think it's stupid right now, but
wasn't Apple the one that brought up this idea? Supposedly, it wasn't even MLS. To what I saw,
it's the guy who wrote the article made that up. I don't even know if that was a thing. I thought that was like his proposal or something, but I don't know. Who cares? Well, speaking, I'll freaking ruin the whole show. And speaking of the packed-in season, I mean, we saw that new proposal today for the TV thing. Are there going to be weekday matches? I mean, there has to be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were saying on Wednesdays, I can't remember the number, but it was like out of I forget how many total are going to be played, but like 6 of them are going to be free. So,
Okay.
and then on the weekend, there was another number. I forget how many, but you were going to have a certain number that were free on the weekend and a certain number that were free during the week.
Okay,
And,
I get that.
So, but yeah, they're supposed to be Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Yeah.
Apparently.
I mean, at least on Wednesday, they pack them all together. I mean, I like that idea. We'll get to that.
I saw the time slots for Saturday was like I want to say it started at like 3, and there were going to be like 6 matches, and then the next set would start at like 5, and there were like 3, and then 7, and it was like 3 or 4, and then the whip around show would go all the way from the beginning all the way to like midnight.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I thought it was like Eastern time was like 7:30 kick or something.
You're right.
It might be
You're right,
Yeah.
James. It's 7:30 it starts, and then other ones will start at 8:30, one at 9:30, and then 2 at 10:30.
By the way, the amount of Sunday games we had at home this year was I did not enjoy those. Like Sunday.
So there'll still be those for national television games. Like
Yeah,
you're
I
gonna
get
some of those. You might get a Friday night. You might get a Friday night game as well.
It's better than the freaking
don't
Wednesday or Tuesday night game, though. I mean, I feel like you're on national TV, and then whenever you're playing Wednesday night games, most likely you're rotating. You have your crappy guys out there on the field, basically.
Yeah, get us out of this national TV thing. We don't deserve that. I guess we get good ratings, but still.
I don't know. That might be arguable.
I don't even know if we get good ratings.
Yeah, I mean, this
They
is
do.
the thing, man.
They
If
do.
we're gonna be on ESPN and we have fucking Taylor 12 man talking about Mercedes-Benz Stadium is not as rowdy as it used to be. What happened to this place? Dude,
Cringe.
shut the fuck up. Like, seriously, just
It's
talk about the
literally
game. Don't talk
same
about the
to
fans,
me.
man. They're trying their fucking best, man. Come
Right.
on.
Dude, we're fighting a good fight. That government, like this is a struggle. It's a struggle.
Yeah.
It's been for 3 years.
Bro, that decision day game was freaking packed, and that game didn't even matter.
Exactly.
People showed up, and I mean, he was absolutely on the dick of freaking Austin this weekend too. It was terrible.
I think Taylor Twellman's working with Apple.
Yeah.
I thought I read in that article.
Yeah, that rumor. Taylor,
I don't-
Never.
please go.
I don't remember where
I
I
don't
saw
mind
it, and they were like, come on, let's start a petition to get his ass out.
I don't despise him that much. I just remember he would always just love Julian Gressel, and that was his total MO. Always loves a white guy. But I mean, yeah, I don't mind Taylor as much as other people.
I like Taylor Twellman.
I care more about
I'm a fan.
the actual guys calling the game. They
I
need
met
to
him
get-
at Gold Cup a couple years ago.
Oh,
No,
that's-
it was probably 4 years ago, but he was at Gold Cup, and he was like, it was like meet Taylor Twellman, and you just got to walk by him, and
How
I think it was at the end of the
What,
line.
was he like this tall, right? Like I'm pretty sure you were taller than him.
He was
No,
sitting
he
down.
he's short.
I couldn't really tell.
Nah, the guy is short, dude. He's like 5'6", 5'7",
The
something.
first-
I mean, he's
The first match that I went to in the press box at Mercedes-Benz, he was there. It was one of the national games that he was calling, and I walked in. I was like, "Bro,
who the hell is
short.
this kid?
Dressed really nice, but God, he's short, man."
Yeah, you know what I need for every Atlanta United game? I need Ray Hudson on the call, just screaming at every goal. That's my type of commentary. That's
Bro, I love how he be moaning like every time that
That's
there's
great.
like a
Or
good
like
pass
Neville.
or something like that. It's,
he just screams. I love that's
Classic,
my
bro.
type of commentary.
Yeah. Well, guys, before we head out. Well, I mean, we've only been here 45 minutes, but most importantly, we haven't really
Oh wait,
talked
did you
about
say
it.
Ray Hudson? Did you say Ray
Yes.
Hudson?
Yeah.
Jesus, I thought
You don't
you
like
said
him?
Ernie Hudson from Ghostbusters, and I was like, why is Ernie Hudson from
You are
Ghostbusters?
so old. Goodness gracious.
I'm going to see Ghostbusters tomorrow, like with an orchestra playing. I got Ghostbusters on my mind.
Okay. Ray Hudson, Inter Miami guy, Champions League.
Winston Zedmore is going to be doing the going to do the Atlanta United games.
Dude,
Oh, there is one other thing about that Apple deal before we jump to another topic. They did say they are putting live crews in every stadium, and they're jumping the camera angles. I think they like 9 now or something. And they're bumping it up to like, I think I saw like 16 or 19 or something.
I hope it's like how ESPN has it with La Liga. I don't know if you guys seen those games, dude. They have like some sick angles.
Oh, yeah.
It's like 8K is not. It's
well,
like
they said 1080p starting off, I guess, this first little bit, but they're bumping it up to 4K sometime. I don't know when, but so.
And with I like how they're doing the national pregame show.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of College Game Day, but I mean something like that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's got potential, and hopefully, I don't know that they're going to do it. We all have said it that it would be nice if they kept the same crew. But you've got Kevin Egan's he's off like fully doing his WWE thing now.
Yeah.
And, Mo Adu is going to be doing like the World Cup stuff, and he's got Fox, so he's going to be doing stuff, I'm sure. And then Jillian's doing her thing like all over the place. I just don't know that it would work, but it would be nice and smart, I think, for Apple to bring in and just keep around some of these same crews that have been doing this for so long with some of these teams, especially if you're going to have them all in the same stadium anyway. Because at one point we were talking like maybe it was going to be where they were calling it from off-site, and then that would be, that would suck. So the fact that they are going to have live crews in every stadium, like, why not just go?
It only makes sense, right? That they'll have the same guys there. I mean, a lot of the teams that
they already know
have the same guys is available.
Yep.
Last thing,
It's wild. Like, there's some teams that are still doing off-site announcing. Like, that's still a thing. Like, I was just watching some with the NHL, and they were doing like a game on the NHL network, and they weren't even there. Like, that's just wild to me that they're trying to do that.
Last thing, just advertise the crap out of this Apple thing, and just get as many people as possible.
They've already bumped the freaking price up. We talked about that last night too. Apple.
So you said free. You said free, so that just means people that don't have an Apple TV subscription, right?
What do you mean?
Not people that because you were talking about yesterday that maybe they might charge more for. They might charge more for MLS, like the MLS package.
Yeah, so it said it was in front of the paywall. So I don't know. I don't know if that means like because you have Apple TV and you have Apple TV Plus. I think it just means if you download Apple TV, the app, and then you can watch it without having Apple TV Plus, I think.
Okay.
Because at one point it was mentioned that they were going to have an additional like package for this whole MLS thing on top of Apple TV Plus. But I don't know if that's going to happen now. So I would imagine though, if they're going to try to grow it, they're putting like $1 billion into this, like, or what is it? 10 billion? I don't know, whatever, some like massive amount of money. They wouldn't hide all this behind 2 separate paywalls. That'd be kind of crazy.
Yeah.
One of the things that interests me is when you're looking at the growth of this sport or this league, people like to go out and watch games at bars. I don't know. I know you're not old enough, James.
That's just you.
We'll say about this in a couple of years. You don't.
You.
Come on.
Yeah, let's go and watch the MLS. Get out of here.
I go out drinking when there's a game on ESPN.
Yeah, I used to do that when I had a buddy here. Shout outs to Tony, man. I met him here, through the podcast because, there was one of the first people that started following me on Twitter. He was actually here in Charleston. Like, I'm like, dude, it was actually the Columbus game where Bello assisted Barker with that back heel. We went out and started watching those games when we went on that little run, when Rob took over, and I'm like, bro, MLS Cup is incoming, but nah, it wasn't.
Classic stuff. Yeah, by the way, season ticket holder, that's clutch. Get that for free. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
But seriously, but people do want to go out and watch games. and if it's not on, like if your local bar, I mean, there's people that have watch parties, right? Like the supporters groups have watch parties, and I mean, I'm hoping that people are smart enough that they've got the smart TVs and they're ready to hook it up. But I don't know. There's a lot of bars that when you ask them if they can turn on ESPN Plus or something, they look at you like, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
So
Those are the people that you need to be mad at. Because that's frustrating. Like you go to a freaking bar that's got like 800 TVs, nobody knows the freaking remote's at, and can't find the channel for anything. It's so frustrating. So at least with this, hopefully it would be something that like, dude, you can freaking download the app and like every game is there. Yeah, I don't have to tell you what channel to go to. Just go to Apple TV and I'll find it. But you're right. Like you got a lot of these older bars, especially they're not even gonna have that capability.
Someone, we have this bar called The Angle. It's a Manchester United supporters bar, and once they started going to ESPN Plus and Paramount for all that, like everybody kind of gave some money to the guy and bought him like Roku sticks and whatever, and we like hooked it all up for him.
Awesome.
So like now he's like in 2022, so that was interesting. Are you listening to Felipe's Twitter Spaces right now, James?
Possibly.
Yeah, you are.
Bro, I just want to. I want to talk so much shit to Felipe. I don't know. I just think that would be fun. I just want people to hate me. It's great. It's fantastic.
You
Especially
were like
these fans on Twitter.
Hey, no, definitely. And now
school
that
going bad for you?
now that we're
Is
hitting that
school going
subject,
bad?
hold up real quick. And I definitely agree with something that I was on, Twitter Spaces with you guys earlier. And Sydney brought up a good point. And also we need to get Sydney on here. But Sydney brought up a good point about, I get it, man. And even Tommy, you brought up this point that, you fell in love with Atlanta United because Joseph Martinez. I mean, he was that guy that,
I fell in love with soccer.
Was
soccer. Like I never liked soccer until I started watching Atlanta United.
Exactly. And I mean, obviously, like we've mentioned this, he's a different guy. I mean, he inside and outside the locker room. I mean, he's a big, sports figure. Arguably top three, Atlanta, goats, sports goats. But the thing is that many people, man, are just so emotionally attached. And look, man, I get it. He's top scorer, legend. I mean, build a statue of it. I mean, literally, I'm gonna start the GoFundMe after I actually, I'm finished with the stream. So, it's just frustrating to see so many people are like, oh, I'm gonna let go of my season tickets because this reason, because I don't agree with certain things. I mean, look, man, not everything is gonna go the way you want it to be all the time, especially in MLS. I mean, look, man, I've literally followed soccer since I can fucking remember, and I mean, I follow Barcelona, and we've been trash, literally for 4 or 5 years, probably more. But you let go of Messi 2 years ago, and I mean, we're talking about Messi, literally the greatest. Same thing has happened with Ronaldo. I mean, he was let go, or he opted out technically to leave Real Madrid, but I'm pretty sure if they actually wanted to, they could have kept them. And teams are not gonna be willing to just waste their, I'm not gonna say waste their time and money, because that's kind of like rude to say, but it's just it's a business, man, and you obviously gonna want to get the most out of it, whether it comes to the players that are on the field, the people that are in the front office, whatever it is, man. But it's ass to see people being that way. Like, come on, man, just support the team. If you don't support the team, then I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know what the fuck to say, honestly.
I mean, if you don't know ball and you don't understand what's going on, just stop posting about it on Twitter. Just shut up, please.
I mean, I think you've learned from the beginning of this season, before it even started, with all the Mata talk, where people really weren't knowledgeable of the situation. It's been kind of a shit show before the season even started from here. So there's so many franchises out there that have gone wrong, and we've been very lucky that in this short franchise we've seen some success over the years. You're gonna have some shit years. You can't be perfect forever. It happens. It's just the way it is, and you have to wait to find that player that's going to lead your team again.
See, and that's like what Chris said. Like, dude, just go and have a good time. Like,
That's me.
don't let Bocanegra ruin your day. Like, it is what it is, man. If you hate Bocanegra and you think he's made bad decisions, there's a lot of people in that same boat, and that's totally fine. But just go and enjoy the team. Go have fun. Like, whether you win or win, I mean, of course, it's always better to win. We always love seeing the team win. Really, we just like seeing the team score a lot of goals because the energy in that place is amazing. But don't step away from the team just because you had a few bad years. If you know Atlanta, like, the sports in this town tends to go bad. It goes really bad. So it'll come back eventually.
And it's MLS, and there's so much parity in MLS. So you could be complete shit one year and good the next. I mean, look at Cincinnati.
They could bring somebody out of freaking high school next year, and we'll win the cup, like, because that's just the way this freaking league is. You never know. Yeah, James. Come on.
Get me in this squad, bro. Yeah.
Wait, James is in high school? I didn't think he got there yet.
Oh, okay.
Damn, bro. I'm just going into the next topic, guys. MLS conference
New
finals.
York City, baby.
I mean, they haven't won it yet. They haven't won the conference, but I mean, definitely, I think they're the favorite going. They're my favorite going because fuck Philly, bro. Fuck Jim Curtin. Fuck his team.
Let's go.
Fuck him for whatever he stands for.
I've gotten into 3 threads this week where Philly people are attacking me, and it's great. I'm loving the energy. They've asked me every time, when does Atlanta United play? And I said, February. But just like you guys will after this week. You guys are rats. I do hope they win the World Series.
You just became dark. You just want to see people. You just want to see, like, you bring pain and suffering where you go.
This is 21 Savage, James.
I did it to Cincinnati, and now it's Philly time because they stink.
You are so angry.
I hate Philadelphia. If I could pick a team to win it
right now. You hate everybody right now.
No, my favorite pick to win is LAFC. I kind of mess with them. I don't hate them that much. I'm cool with that, and I'm not cool with NYC because they kind of beat our ass a lot. So it's not great. But yeah, dude, I also hate Austin too. I mean, I feel like they're a bunch of rats, especially after that laminated crap. That was kind of cringe. You can't do that. But I guess that's what they do over there.
Showing how bad they all thought they were going to be.
So stupid.
It kind of sucked.
Like 12th, 11th place.
Like, I can't stand any of them right now. Like, I have a reason to not want any of them to win. Like, LAFC, I don't want them to win because they just talk too much crap, and they've yet to win one, but they want to brag about their supporter shields.
I'm cool with them.
Often, like, I just don't want them to win only because I don't want them to win it in their second year like Atlanta did. New York City, I don't want them to win 2 in a row. Philly sucks. So I don't want any of them to win.
We're so petty.
Yeah, we are.
This is like shooting yourself in the left foot, right foot.
We wanted the second year.
Yeah, exactly. And who cares about that?
I don't want them to win the U.S. Open Cup in their third year because we won it in our third year.
We're running the damn people next year.
For Campiones Cup, I'm still pissed off New York won that, but that's frustrating.
Campiones Cup? Oh, boy. I totally forgot about that.
I know.
Wait till Austin wins Campiones Cup in their third year. I'll see you in the summer. Tyler. You better bring that.
I'm coming in hot.
No, not
Damn
it, Chris.
Games to talk about.
Only people above 60 hate me, and it's crazy. It's crazy energy right now.
60 years old?
Damn, Chris. They called you old.
Security, Tom. Jesus.
I'm 40. I just turned 40.
Oh. Wow. Good job.
I'm not 60.
Yeah.
I don't have any gray hairs.
Yeah, honestly, man, when it comes to the last teams, but I think I have to go with Tommy, man. I think probably New York will be the one that's like, I can't even fucking take you guys serious because you're still playing in a fucking baseball field. So I mean,
But that's sick.
Yeah.
I messed with the baseball field. I was pissed when Austin
listen,
won. I
honestly,
want the baseball
and
field. That's fun.
this is, and
All about
What?
You're
look,
literally you're a base. You're
No,
like
he's just trolling us.
No,
He's
no,
become
no,
the.
no.
He took classes. He's taken a
No.
class in high school, trolling 101. Get
No,
the
no.
F out of here.
You're
You
like
love
a-
the baseball field now?
Yes.
Get out of here.
You're like a baseball naturalist, bro. That's what I'm getting from you with like the MLS, bro.
What does
Like,
that even mean?
You want the pitchers to hit in MLS. You're like it has to be old and all that stuff. We have to put stages in our stadiums. Like, come on.
I
You gotta
want a
have
stadium
fun.
bigger than my basement.
Imagine how cool and how hilarious it would be for a final to take place in like Citi Field or Yankee Stadium. That would be hilarious. I would love that.
Josh is spot on with that comment.
I'm cool with the Phillies, honestly. They're
Man,
kind
fuck
of.
any team from Philly, bro.
That's
Y'all saw that one video of them girls were like, Philly who? The Union who? The guys in the what? Like what she said? The guys in
Blue
the
collar.
uniform with the blue ties or something.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's how far this league has gone, Tommy. Just because of you.
What else? What else you want to talk about that you hate right now before we go, James?
That I
Anything
hate?
else?
Right now,
Or
the
what are
Hawks.
things that you
The
hated
Hawks
that you
stink.
now love?
The Hawks stink. I used to love the Hawks. They stink. They come out at the jump terrible. McMillan's terrible coach. I know you can agree with me on that, but that's about it.
I could talk.
I'm just chilling.
All right, guys. So predictions for MLS Cup final. I think Chris already brought one out. NYFC against Austin. I think that has to be
I
my
agree.
pick as well.
What was it?
Agree.
Austin. Oh,
Yeah,
you-
Austin and NYFC.
Look, this happened. Everyone was so hyped about Montreal winning the cup last week. They lost. I'm taking Philly, and then I'm also taking LAFC, and I'll take LAFC over. Actually, 1-1 though. No, I'm taking LAFC over Philly. The Philadelphia Union only lost their only trophy they can win, the Supporter Shield. They're regular season merchants. They're a terrible team. You know, I hate them. I hate every
For
Eastern
best-
Conference team except for Montreal. They're fine. I don't mind them.
I do think the best matchup would be LAFC and Philly. I think that like you want to see the best teams against each other. I mean, I think that's probably what I want to see, but I don't want to see the like. But I want the opposite teams in. But like, I think as far as entertainment value, that matchup is the LA Philly is the way to go.
There you go.
Did
It's
Josh
time to
know
be Austin fans, honestly.
Austin and Philly, man? I'm telling you.
Resurge the tree.
Because I want to see Philly get so close and then get shafted by a team just like Atlanta United in 2018.
Who cares anymore? We're winning it next year. It doesn't matter. Running it up.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we've been here.
What a
little
show,
bit.
baby! What a show!
Yeah.
You made it a bit more boring, but it was pretty good, I would have to say. It's all right.
Bro, James is like, what's happening? I think puberty is hitting him.
Okay.
I think that's it.
The hormones have made him angry.
Hey, nah, but they just renewed his contract, didn't they? I think this past season for Brandon. Yeah, that was a bad decision. I feel like letting him go, but
We would have won the Open Cup this year if we had him still.
You couldn't predict that. You couldn't predict
We're
that Joseph
golden
was going to get hurt.
well, let's see what he comes out with.
Nothing exciting.
Oh, I thought he was about to bring out a Brandon Vasquez song shirt. Or
No.
something.
Adam John.
I got nothing. I just ran away just because Tommy's talking a little too much. I had to take a break there.
All right, guys. Well, you know,
Yeah,
you could
put that last comment in. Last comment.
pray
Last-
for
It's gonna be Chris,
Kevin
and he's gonna
Herter.
talk. Oh, come on! Just get McMillan out, and then you can have a competent basketball team, Josh. I know.
Well, guys,
a good try.
you know, Don't forget to follow these guys. ATL Pilgrim for Tyler, Tommy, Let's Go Ducks 96, James, Kyle Don't Miss 26.
Block me. Don't follow me.
Jesus. Lord almighty.
Before it's
Get
too
your mom
late.
on the line. Get your mom
Before
on the
it's
line.
too
We got
late.
to talk.
You need a Snickers.
Meatloaf, mom.
All right, guys. Thank you for the guys that were on here on the chat. You know, you can always subscribe to Fila Sports Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. And like I said, go give these guys a follow as well.
Not James.
Likely
Not
be here
Thomas,
next
no.
week talking about who's in MLS Cup, and hopefully there's some roster moves by then. Hopefully something comes out.
Transfer rumors.
Yeah,
Little bit of
something.
transfer rumors.
Something will probably be cooking by then.
Probably not, but maybe.
Silph will come out with something like
No,
Diego
it's
Costa
he's
to
No,
or
Zell said he's done with
Radamel
that.
Falcao or Luis Suarez to Atlanta
Ooh,
United.
Falcao. I like that.
Yeah, or Cavani would have been good too, man. I wouldn't mind having Cavani, but I mean,
Little
he just got
Suarez
signed.
action. Little Suarez.
Yeah,
It could happen.
anything, man. Anything. I just
Yep.
need some goals. I need 15, 20 goals per season by the new number 9.
Per game. Come on. Go.
All right, James, man. Let me end this, man, because I think it's past your bedtime. Let me just
All right. Appreciate it, bro.